How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in the Manchester City career mode here on FIFA 19 part 2 of our January transfer adventure. And if you missed the last episode, I would highly recommend you go and watch that. We do make a signing in the January transfer window, the first one, but we are still exploring a lot of options right now, and it's a pretty tasty one that I'm going to really need your input on for this episode. As always, guys, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a big thumbs up on it. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel as we close in on 500 subs. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. Always massively, massively appreciated. But we're actually going to be kicking this episode off with a little bit of transfer news. Not that surprising, I suppose, as we're in the January window. But Danilo has sold. If you watched the last episode, you'll know we are going after a new right back. Failed on negotiations last time, but we're hopefully going to tie that up today, so that isn't really new news. But what is this £41 million offer from Wolves for Nicholas Otamendi. Now, bearing in mind, we've just signed another centre-back. This is something I'm very, very tempted by. Otamendi, you know, he's past his prime now. We've just bought in De Ligt. We've already got Laporte and Stones in there as well. Do we really need Otamendi as well? I mean, Kompany looks like he's on his way, but that'll be the end of the season, it's looking like. So we would still have Kompany for the remainder of this season, because it's looking like he's agreed a pre-contract with West Ham. To get 40 million for Otamendi, I actually think he's very good going. Where's he gone? You can see he's 30 years old. He is 86 rated, so he's still a very highly rated centre-back, but we've barely played him this season. To get £40 million for him, I think is very, very decent. You know, fantastic in reality for us last season, but even this season in real life, he's not playing anywhere near as much. So I am very tempted by that, because we will then have Laporte, Stones, De Ligt and Kompany to see us through this season, which I think is more than enough. So I think we're going to accept that. What's his value? So his value is 29 million as well. That's an absolutely huge offer. I'm really tempted to just accept this straight out of the gate, just in case we muck up the transfers. So Nicholas Otamendi, I'm sure there's going to be some people that aren't happy about that. Whenever you sell a player that actually plays for City in real life, it's always a bit, you know, a bit upsetting. There's always people that really, really like that individual player. And even me, for myself, you know, Otamendi, phenomenal for us last season in the Centurions season. But I think £40 million, we've just bought in De Ligt. It makes good sense from a business perspective and for a future perspective as well. And as we get confirmation of Otamendi potentially leaving, we now got the confirmation that Kompany will be leaving at the end of the season as well. Really, really disappointed realistically, because he's such a club legend, Mr. Man City, the captain, leader of our club, but his contract was coming to an end, wasn't playing much football, and he wants to go. You know, there's not much you can do. The one solace I do take from this is the fact that he's going to West Ham, where he's probably going to be reunited with Pablo Zabaleta in the back four, which is pretty nice. So he'll be leaving at the end of the season as well. We'll make sure we play him in the last game of the season. There's a bit of a testimonial, because the guy is a flipping legend. Loan offer from Cordina Kielke as well for Grimshaw. More than happy to accept that. Hopefully he'll be on his way there to get some game time. We're still unable to negotiate again with Kevin Mbabu. I'm hoping that we will be able to soon. I mean, if it comes really close towards the end of the window, we might have to go to someone else if we still can't sign him. But that obviously was a muck-up from last episode. But you eagle-eyed viewers might notice there is a new man in the mix here on the shortlist, and that is this guy, Memphis Depay. I had loads of comments again with suggestions on people to sign for this transfer window. And Depay is one that kind of makes sense to me. It's going to be really, really interesting to hear your thoughts on this. As you guys know, we're after a third string striker. We've got Aguero, who's the main striker still, then there's Jesus, but that's all we've got right now. We need someone else that can fill in the void. If Aguero was to get injured, you know, another player that can step up. Cutrone is someone that I pointed out and someone had suggested previously, and a lot of you people liked that suggestion. Really good young player, a lot of potential. Memphis Depay, however, is another player that could fit really, really nicely. A few reasons why. Firstly, he can also play in the left wing, and the only natural left winger we've got at the moment is Sane. So although we sometimes play Diaz there, although we sometimes play Bernardo Silva there, we played Sterling there a little bit, it's not the worst thing to have another player that can naturally play in that position. We've already got a couple of Dutch players in the club that we've bought in as well, so it could add to that contingency, the likes of Frenkie de Jong and De Ligt. And the fact that he's a bit of a reject from Man United, I would love the idea to bring him to City and for him to do really, really well. 5-star skills, 83 overall, which is a decent rating to be third choice. I mean, probably a bit too good if anything, but then again, he'd probably play a bit more regularly because he'd be playing out on the left-hand side as well. I want to know what you guys think of this. I'm going to not sign either one of these in today's episode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a comment in the comment section. One that says Cutrone, one that says Depay, and whichever gets the most thumbs up for the next episode, we will sign in the final part of the transfer window, because there's going to be one more part in the transfer window after today. So I will be putting a comment in the comment section, one for Depay, one for Cutrone. Just put a thumbs up on the one you'd like me to sign, and the one with the most we will go for. That is all it's going to come down to. In terms of backup goalkeeper, Lafont seems to be the one that most people are leaning towards, but I'm not going to sign him until Bravo has officially left. And then Sancho is another one that you guys are still mentioning a lot. I'm going to keep my eye on him, but it's not someone that we're urgently after. I mean, he does play that left wing like I've already said we could do with another player still playing that position. But Depay could kill two birds with one stone there. So Sancho we might not go for in this transfer window, possibly in the future. But yeah, the big one here, Cutrone or Depay. By the way, is it Depay or is it Depay? I have no idea, so apologies if I keep on saying it the wrong way. We've also had a couple of scout reports coming in. The first one here actually looks really promising. Alexandro Villens, maybe as Kompany leaves, we get the next Vincent Kompany coming in here, because this guy's 16 years old, really good potential, 6'6" as well, so we'll definitely be picking him up. He's going to be the first player that we're going to be signing. Is there anyone else with big potential here? Not so much there. Not great. Again, not great. Again, not great. Wow, this guy also looks very, very promising. Arnie Platvert, 17 years old, 56 to 74 rated, 84 to 94. We'll pick him up as well. Two very promising young players there we've just picked up. Just to confirm it then, these guys both currently 60 rated overall. A lot of potential. We'll make sure to train those up. Platvert being a striker, interestingly, and of course Willems being a centre-back too, to definitely keep an eye on in the future. So here we are then with the first game of today's episode, and we've got some snowy weather to accompany it as well. We're playing against Wolves, the club where Nicholas Otamendi may well be joining. That deal not quite done yet, but certainly looks like it could be going through. And after the last episode where we were very, very indifferent, we need to make sure we start strong here and pick up 3 points at home. Pretty strong, well, I'll say pretty strong lineup we're going with here. It's the strongest lineup possible, I would say, other than the injured Raheem Sterling. And hopefully we can pick up 3 points. You can see, best home records. Again, our home record is absolutely fantastic, the best in the league. Hopefully we can make that count. So here is how we line up for the game. We've got Edison in between the sticks with the standard back four of Walker, Stones, Laporte and Benjamin Mendy. Midfield three we're going with Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva. And the front three of Riyad Mahrez, Sergio Aguero and Leroy Sané. Was tempted to put Brahim Diaz in there instead of Mahrez for this one, but we have got him on the bench, and I do again plan to give him and Foden plenty of game time. Get them on in this one, hopefully. Here's how Wolves are going to be lining up. They've got Rui Patricio in between the sticks of back four of Doherty, Diaz, Dendonka, Bolly and Johnny. So actually playing a back five, as it were. Diawara and Moutinho making up the holding midfielders, and then ahead of them we've got Helder, Costa, Jimenez and Jota. Another player that a lot of people want me to sign is actually Ruben Neves. He's on the bench for Wolves. You know, if we needed a CDM, a central midfielder, I certainly would. We've already bought Frankie de Jong, we've already bought Toussaint. We don't particularly need him, but he's certainly one in the future that we'll keep an eye out for. But without any further ado, let's get into this game. Riyad Mahrez to start things off here. I hate playing in the snow on FIFA. I wish I'd have checked on the flipping turn this off. David Silva. It's a nice little turn that is. Aguero. Oh, just like that we go 1-0 up. I was saying I don't like playing in the snow. Maybe we should play in the snow more often, because we cut through Wolves with absolute ease there. It's taken literally 3 minutes to get into the lead. David Silva instrumental in it actually. We've not been playing him quite as much with Bernardo coming in, but that was a really agile turn in the box here. You'll see, look at this little drop of the shoulder, loses his man, picks out Aguero, tidy finish, and just like that, we're 1-0 up. Oh, look at that pace there from Kyle Walker, absolutely fantastic defending. Nice ball into the middle as well, and David Silva once again able to turn out. Aguero's making the run. I think he's just about onside here. Sergio Aguero to double his tally. It's 2-0 City. What a start this is to the game. What a start this is to the episode. And David Silva and Sergio Aguero, the age-old link-up, once again coming to fruition. Great through ball from Almago, and it's a lovely finish from Aguero. Had so much time, was never really in doubt, was it? On his weaker right foot there, David Silva, the pass actually. Aguero on that famed right foot of his makes it 2-0, and surely we won't be throwing this away. Great start. It's good football from Wolves. If they get one back for half time, it'll be a bit of a sucker punch, because we've been so good. We do manage to get it rigged though. Leroy Sané on the break. Where are we going to go? Going to try and take the outside route. He's got the pace. It's great play from Leroy. Go on, lad. Look at the man arriving on the edge. Can we pick him out? Can't quite set for the first time, but De Bruyne can go back to Fernandinho, who can have a crack from here. Always rising. Great play from Sane in the build-up there. Bit of a chance here opening up. It's Raul Jimenez. It's a good ball. Wolves have got one back here. Just opened up far too much at the start of the second half. They've made a change as well. They brought on Adama Traore, who could be dangerous, but we really could have put this game to bed long ago, and all of a sudden now Wolves are back in it, unfortunately. Moutinho netting. Everyone seems to get sucked to the top of the box. There's loads of space. Look how much space is at the bottom here. He just runs across to open everything up. It's a decent first time finish, to be fair. 2-1. I've been turned a bit there. I need to be careful there. Well recovered. De Bruyne. Finds David Silva. Looking for Sane at the bottom. Well picked out. David Silva again. Aguero. I'm looking for that runner. It's got to be. There it is. 3-1. Kevin De Bruyne, and Aguero has got 2 goals and an assist to his name again in this game. I'll say again, I don't know if he's done that before, but fantastic performance from him. David Silva at the heart of it again to pick out Aguero in the first place, and then it just all opened up. De Bruyne first time, slams it past Patricio, and that now I would hope means the points are all home and dry. So we've got 15 minutes to go, a free kick in a promising position. We're going to make a couple of changes. Brahim Diaz has already come onto the pitch, but we're now going to be bringing on Phil Foden in place of David Silva and making his debut at the Etihad Stadium. De Ligt as well coming on for Laporte, but we have also, like I said, got a free kick in a decent position here. Can De Bruyne bend this around the wall? Oh, it's a good save from Patricio, you know. So there goes the full-time whistle. It's a 3-1 win to start off the episode. Can't ask for much more than that. It's a shame not to keep the clean sheet, but a really good performance on the whole. Wolves really limited to very few opportunities. We've got Diaz on the pitch for the last 20. We've got Foden on the pitch for the last 20. And De Ligt coming on for his debut as well. You can see, I mean, look at the stats there. Absolute domination. 3 points in the bag. Can't ask for any more than that. Grimshaw again is rejected a loan move. He really doesn't want to go anywhere, and we've actually had, I mean, what a joke of an offer. Not only have Man United come in for one of our star men in Raheem Sterling, but 47 million. No chance whatsoever. Reject. And there's confirmation of Nicolas Otamendi leaving then. Great servant for the club in his time here, of course, part of the Centurions, but 38 million for someone that's 30 years old and not playing. I don't think you can grumble at that too much. So we've been able to go back in for Mbabu again. We actually ended up having to pay slightly more this time, 11 million rather than the 10 that I think we'd agreed on last time. And I do also get a 10% sell-on clause on the if he was to leave as well. But when they're going to negotiate again, last time we offered him 30 grand a week and he like slapped us in the face basically. He told us that it was insulting. So bearing that in mind, let's see if we can do better this time. It's a 5-year deal. So negotiations going slightly different. This time he's come to us and he wants the 5 years, which is absolutely fantastic stuff. I don't want him to have a release clause. He's fine with that. This is where it gets difficult now. Wages. Now, he slapped us in the face at 30 grand. Will he slap us in the face at 50 grand? And we'll give him like a 1 million signing on bonus? That to me is like a ridiculous offer, I think. But last time we offered him 30 grand a week and 500k in signing off on fee. And like I say, he said it was insulting. What are they going to say to that? Right, okay, so we've got a bit of movement here, which is good. So he wants 56 grand a week, and he wants the 1 million signing on, and if he gets 5 clean sheets, I mean, I think that's okay. I'm guessing, I mean, I couldn't tell you for sure, but I'm guessing Danilo was on more than 56, and he was our previous backup right back, so I'm happy to go for that. And Mbabu signed. That's another signing. We bought in De Ligt in the previous episode and Mbabu in this one. In the final part now, it's looking like it's going to be Depay or Coutron, but that's a decent signing by all accounts. Interestingly, guys, we actually now play Huddersfield, not once, but twice in a row. We've got them in the FA Cup replay, first and foremost. Of course, we just about scraped to draw in the end in that last game. 90th minute equaliser from De Bruyne. And then we play them away in the league as well, so we've got 2 trips up to Huddersfield. You can see here on the right-hand side, Mbabu signing. He will actually make his debut in this game in the Cup. We're going to play a rotated 11 as you'd expect. But, yeah, let's get into it. Here we go then. The first trip to Huddersfield is in the FA Cup. As I just mentioned, there will be a debut here for Mbabu, and it won't be the only debut as well. De Ligt starting for the first time for us today in a very heavily rotated 11. Completely different other than Edison in between the sticks. You'll see it in just a second. But, we dominated these at home in the FA Cup first game, and we just could not beat Lursel until like the 92nd minute, whatever it was, when De Bruyne got the goal. So hopefully we could do a bit better today. You can see we've got the player to watch here in Gabriel Jesus. Had a decent season playing second in position to Aguero, and he's slowly catching him up really as an overall rated player. So maybe in a season's time he may be our number one. So here is the Huddersfield lineup. I'm pretty sure that's almost identical to the same team they played against us before. Players that caused this problem last time actually were Mounier up top, he was a bit of a handful, and this Kopic down the left hand side, he was also pretty decent at times as well. So certainly a couple to keep an eye out for, but it'll be interesting to see if they play exactly the same 11 in the league game next, and if their stamina will be at all affected by this as well. So we're going with our second string team, which is outrageously strong really, considering these are all players that don't usually play. We've got Ederson, Mbabu, De Ligt making their debuts, Kompany, Zinchenko, Toussaint, Foden, Frenkie de Jong, and a Bernardo Silva, Gabriel Jesus and Brahim Diaz leading the line. But yeah, I mean, De Ligt and Mbabu both making debuts. We've got the Dutch connection in there as well, with De Ligt going in there to de Jong. Let's hope we can get the win. Bernardo with a good ball out wide. Jesus will get to that. He has got space to run into as well. There's lots of options here. Where do we go? We're going to go alone. And it's 1-0. Gabriel Jesus. Great finish on his weaker foot. I don't know why we're picking up the ball. But, you know, I cut back across. There were so many players I could have gone for. Ignored the ball. Gabriel Jesus absolutely powering it in. Mbabu was one that was in there. You can see him, but we actually ran him behind the goalkeeper, funnily enough, because he was just making that darting run. But great finish from Jesus. 1-0 up, come on. I'll come across by Kompany. Jesus, look at the run. Bernardo Silva, is he going to be able to hold off the man? Still Bernardo Silva. He has held off his man, surely. That's 2-0, and that should be game over. We're doing what we couldn't do the first time we met in the FA Cup, and that is being clinical. Bernardo Silva played in on goal. I actually half expected him to be caught up, but he held off the defender, went on his stronger left foot, and that should make it does make it 2-0, and should put the game to bed. Good ball. Jesus has made the run as well. Jesus to make it 3. Good save by the keeper right at the end. I think it's game over anyway, but Jesus chance to double his tally there. Bernardo. Foden. Well escaped. Oh, Foden got the shot away. Still looking for his first goal for us, of course. Lozil patted that one down, and it was pretty comfortable. So there it is. The full-time whistle goes in our first of 2 encounters with Huddersfield. It's a 2-0 win to take us through into the next round of the FA Cup. A good performance from the second string 11 there. Jesus grabbing a goal, Bernardo Silva grabbing a goal, and impressive performances from Mbabu and De Ligt on the debut as well, as we kept the clean sheet. But let's see if anything else happens in the window, and then we'll be facing Huddersfield exactly the same way again, away from home, this time in the Premier League. This is taking a really long time to load at the moment. I don't know what's going on. I might have to quit this, you know, and come back in and perhaps simulate that first Huddersfield game. Give it a couple of minutes. Yeah, I've been sat here a couple of minutes, guys, and it's still spinning, so we're going to have to go back, play this again by simulating it, and then we'll do the last game. So back in a second. So guys, I've been sat here for 5-10 minutes and it's still doing this loading thing, this time on the menu. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a server issue, a game issue. I'm not quite sure what's happening. What it does mean is that I'm going to end this episode early here, so sorry that there's not going to be a third game. It still shouldn't be too short of an episode because we've got the transfer stuff going on, but yeah, don't quite know what's going on with the game at the moment, as you can see in the background. But still been a decent episode. We won both of our games. We managed to bring in Mbabu, which is a great signing, and thankfully I did save the game, the career mode, before that next Huddersfield game. So we'll have to sim that one, but we won't have to play the game prior to that as well against Wolves. So we're not in too bad of a position really, thankfully. But yeah, it's going to be a premature ending to the episode, so apologies for that, guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you're new around here, and don't forget, down below, Cutrone, Depay, leave a thumbs up on which one you think we should go for, if either. And yeah, I will speak to you guys next time. I'm sorry that this has ended so swiftly and out of nowhere again, but yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. I'll speak to you next time. Nidge out.